Jamie Lloyd productions aren't everyone's cup of tea, but Much Ado About Nothing is a show that brought general public, critics, and skeptics together in the agreement that this is as good as theater gets. In this video, I'm going to tell you why. Welcome to my channel, my name is Christina, and I'm here to help you have the best London theater experience. If you like the sound of it, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more. This show has a lot going for it. Firstly, it is a comedy, and who doesn't like to laugh? I love going to theater to be challenged and inspired and see the world in a different way, but a good laugh goes a long way, and this is the first reason why this is a very successful show, because it's one of the most well-known Shakespeare's comedies. The story follows Benedict and Beatrice, who are initially two people who can't stand each other, but they fall madly in love, with a little bit of help from their friends who, through gossip, help them see the feelings that they have for each other. But this is not the only love story in this comedy. There is also a love story between Claudio and Hero, and this is initially a love story, but towards the end it turns a little bit sour because Hero has been framed that she's cheated on Claudio, and now Claudio doesn't want to marry her, and there are additional elements to the story to help it unfold and ultimately finish in a happy ending. And happy ending stories are always a crowd pleaser, and there is a reason why this comedy has stood the test of time. It just covers a lot of universal themes such as love, revenge, gossip, friendship, a lot of things that are just so innately human and people can really resonate with. So Much Ado About Nothing is one of those shows where you know that you're gonna have a good time, it's gonna be fun, you're gonna laugh, and ultimately you're gonna go home with a big smile on your face, and what's better than that? The second reason why people love this show is because of its vibe. Basically, as soon as you enter into the theater, you have these like disco lights that are greeting you, amazing house and disco and popular music just like coming from the speakers, and you feel like you're in a nightclub. So from the moment you get into the auditorium, you're like ready to dance, you're ready for whatever is coming your way. And I think this says a lot about setting the scene for the show, and that is something that Jamie Lloyd really excels in. I remember this for Sunset Boulevard. There was this person standing on the stage before the show started and this ominous music in the background, and it was all very dark. Then when I went to see Romeo and Juliet, there was really loud music playing and a little bit of electronic vibe and like very industrial. Tempest as well had this like very eerie music playing. So I do really appreciate the detail that Jamie Lloyd and his production team put into really preparing you for what's to come. In this instance, you are really lifted up with the music and the vibe and the lights, and that goes on for probably like half an hour depending on when you arrive into the theater before the show starts. So basically when the curtain's up and the actors appear, you're ready to party with them. That's how it feels. And I think that this is so crucial to having such a great experience, and for this being such a night to remember for everyone who has gone to the theater to see this show. This show heavily relies on chemistry between the two leads, and I am so happy to say that the third reason why this show is such a success is because of the amazing, fabulous, fantastic energy and chemistry between Hayley Atwell and Tom Hiddleston. I haven't seen either of them previously in any of the shows, and I did not know what to expect, but let me tell you that I was so captivated by both of them, to the point that the little giggles and the little kind of flirtatious energy, especially Tom Hiddleston had with the audience, like I could not resist. I was really trying to be there and look at the play with a little bit of a critical eye and think what I'm going to share with you guys, but I could not just stop being all like giddy. But let's start with Tom Hiddleston. Benedict is the guy who is very much full of himself, aware of his looks and the reaction that he gets from ladies normally, and Tom Hiddleston plays this part, but he's also an insanely talented actor, and this role really allowed him to shine and play to his strengths and also charm the entire auditorium in the process. There's so many great elements of Tom engaging with the audience members and asking questions, and this really allowed him to be very playful in this role, and this is what basically this role is about. There are some fantastic moments of comedy, and to that point, like it's almost that silly comedy that it can go either way, and in his case it has gone the right way. There's this particular scene where he is buried under pink confetti and he's listening to what two of his friends are gossiping about Beatrice, his love interest, and the comedic time timing and delivery of this scene by Tom is something that will stay in my mind forever, because I laughed so much and was so fascinated by the precision of his comedic timing and generally delivery of this scene throughout. Tom and Hayley's chemistry on stage was unparalleled. I really enjoyed how they bounced off of each other, especially with these two characters that are initially really bickering and talking bad about each other and not being invested into each other to that point where they kind of really are falling in love and are being open about their feelings. And all of these moments are so believable with the two of them, because you just can see that they're so invested in these roles and that they like each other. Speaking of Hayley Atwell, she brings a lot of that headstrong attitude to Beatrice. She's very much her own independent woman. She doesn't want to get involved with any man, let alone Benedict, and she really oozes this type of energy of independence, and she doesn't need anyone to make her happy, and she's really great at it. The way that she walks, the way that she kind of carries herself, the way that she interacts with both female and male members of the cast, she is very certain, and her character is so clearly defined. You really can see who Beatrice is with her portrayal. Witnessing her transition from that into someone who is in love and ready to share that, and also ask Benedict to kill Claudio when the time is for that. All of these scenes are handled with so much care and staying really true to who Beatrice is and what she stands for throughout all of these different emotions that she's experiencing. Much Ado About Nothing has quite a few cast members from the Jamie Lloyd's production of The Tempest that premiered only a few months ago, including Mason Alexander Park, who also in this production graces us with their beautiful, enchanting voice. Just on this occasion, they are singing the songs such as When Love Takes Over and some other like pop bangers, and really bringing that modern element of the story to life. And this is sometimes so over the top in a sense that there are confetti falling and there's like a glittery mic, but everything really works well within this production. Another two cast members who migrated from The Tempest into Much Ado About Nothing are Mara Huff, who is playing Hero, and James Foon, who is playing Claudio. Both of them have played each other's love interest in The Tempest, and they're doing the same here. So this just means that they're very familiar with these roles and this dynamic between the two of them, and really good at delivering it in a very engaging way, especially because there are quite a few dramatic scenes that happen between the two of them, and they are some of the key drivers of the plot in Much Ado About Nothing. The rest of the cast members have also delivered remarkable performances, especially because each of these characters are so important for driving the plot and delivering that comedic timing so that the tempo and the energy of the show doesn't drop at any point, and I think all of them had a part to play in it. And this is especially important because of the reason number 4, and that is set design, blocking, and choreography. The cast has a lot of room to move around in true Jamie Lloyd production style because there isn't a lot of set design changes. There is a set that I'm gonna get to in a moment, but when it comes to choreography and blocking, there is so much space to maneuver because Theatre Royal Drury Lane has a really big stage space, and the way that they navigated this is by having the whole stage covered in these confetti, and also confetti falling and trickling through the whole production for the majority of its duration. So there are like these kind of dimensions that are added. But when it comes to blocking, a lot of the times there are just chairs on the stage, and then maybe there's like a table at the times, and then there's this like one particular scene when they go all in with the costumes and put on these like plushy toy heads when they're having a party. But apart from that, there aren't any or many set changes, and a lot of this is really relying upon that blocking and choreography and cast really working together to keep the momentum going. And there are some really fun choreographies, I have to admit that. A lot of the times they are dancing all together, and sometimes they even look like a bit of a girl dance group or like a boy band and things like that, which I think really plays into the fact that this is a modern adaptation for modern audiences with these modern references, which sometimes come in the form of dance and sometimes they come in the way that they are dressed and costumes, and sometimes it is the music. When it comes to the set design, it is both minimalist and maximalist at the same time, because in the middle of the stage there's this giant pink heart. And as cliche and as cheesy as it sounds and as tacky as it might look, it just is perfect cherry on top of this cake, and it's so visually appealing to see, especially because there's this one particular scene when Benedict is listening to two friends gossiping about Beatrice's love for him, and he at some point gets just like squished by this heart. And it is such a literal way to represent what he's doing, but at the same time it's a pure comedy gold. And then in the other instance you have Beatrice going around that heart while she's like trying to listen also to her friends gossiping about how Benedict feels about her. And there's just like this kind of heart is the symbol of love, obviously, but kind of the way that they're going around it and the way that they're engaging with it is super fun. And it is so fantastic to see how with very little on stage they achieved so much. And the fifth reason why I do think this show is such a great success is the fact that it's modern and fun and it feels contemporary. I think a lot of times with Shakespeare's classics, they can have that element of being modern, but with Much Ado About Nothing in this particular Jamie Lloyd production, that relevancy goes straight to the audience's heart. Like with the music that you hear when you enter, you recognize it, you want to dance. Then there's this like story unfolding that you might or might not be familiar with, but everyone knows how it feels to be in love and how it feels to pursue someone that initially you didn't like. And there's just a lot of dynamic on stage, and then you see these amazing actors with great chemistry on stage. All these things are just ticking off the boxes that so many people desire for when they go to the theater. Is they want to be entertained, they want to leave the theater feeling uplifted, and that they really spend an evening worth watching whoever is on stage. And when it comes to Shakespeare's plays, well, they always cover very universal motives. I do think that sometimes they feel stuck in between traditional and modern takes, and this time it is full on modern take and it really resonated. Much Ado About Nothing closes on the 5th of April, so there isn't a lot of time left to see it, and it would be interesting to see what is the future for this show. But if you are looking to go and check it out, there are still some tickets available. They are a little bit on the pricier side, so be aware of that. Otherwise, if you're interested in seeing my opinion about some other Jamie Lloyd shows, check out The Tempest here and Romeo and Juliet with Tom Holland here.